So today we're going to be dealing with the concepts of division. And we're going to start with what is division, then we're going to move on to visual method, then we're going to do some repeated subtraction, then we're going to go on to bus stop method. I know you're looking forward to that one. Without remainders and with remainders. And then we're going to do some word problems. So let's begin. Division is the action of separating something into smaller parts. So typically a division sum looks like this. This number here, so you got 84, and that's called our dividend. It's the thing that we're dividing into, or our total. Then we have this little sign here, which is very strange, and it's called an obelisk. And it just consists of a dot and then a dash and another dot. Then we have a divisor of 3, and the divisor is what we're sharing into, or how many parts we're dividing something into. Then we have an answer, which is a quotient, so we call that a quotient. So dividend, obelisk, divisor, and quotient. Okay, so those are some of the vocabulary of division. So let's move on to a visual way of dealing with a division sum. So you can understand division by thinking of it as sharing. When you share, you want people to receive equal amounts. We can imagine sharing 12 sweets amongst 3 friends. So these are our sweets. So you can see them here. And then imagine that we turn each friend into these little circles. So you've got one friend there, you've got one friend there, and then one friend there. When you're first starting out with division, it's good to think of it more visually. I'm going to move one at a time. So I can move one there, one into there, one into there. I can keep moving them over until I've shared them equally. So I'm moving that one. So they're getting 2. Then they're getting 3. And then you can see every friend getting 4 sweets each. Okay, so for that reason we know that our answer to our dividend, so what's the name that we use for our answer in division? What's the technical term? Remember, it's quotient. So I can put that in there like that. So our answer will be each friend would receive 4. Once you've mastered this visual method, it might make division easier to understand if you think of it as a repeated subtraction. For instance, if we were to do 12 divided by 3, which is exactly the same sum that we just did, then what we can do is do 12 take away 3, which equals 9. 9 take away 3, which equals 6. 6 take away 3, which equals 3. And then 3 take away 3, which equals 0. And you can see that I've managed to subtract 3 4 times from 12, which means that our answer to a problem will be 4, or our quotient will be 4. Once you're comfortable with that concept, then you can move on to a more advanced method, which is bus stop method. But I'd only recommend moving on to bus stop method once you're confident with multiplying. So multiplication and division are linked, and you'll be able to carry out your divisions more easily if you master multiplication. So let's just go through bus stop method. Let's have a look at this sum here. So this one's without remainders. Imagine that we've got the sum 84 divided by 3. And we're going to use bus stop method to deal with this little problem. As you can see, it's a bit more difficult than 12 divided by 3. So bus stop method's excellent if you're not 100% sure how to share it. And imagine doing this visually. It just wouldn't Like you'd have to have 84 sweets or something like that. It would be silly. I'm first going to just draw my bus stop. And what we're going to do first is we're going to place our 84 under the bus stop. So the number on the left-hand side of our division sum of the obelisk. And I'm just going to place it under like that. Then I'm going to put my number here, which is 3, to the left-hand side of the bus stop, like this. Okay, and then I'm going to think, okay, how many times does 3? Actually, let's first of all write out our multiplication. So 3 times 1 equals 3. So I've just written out my multiples. First of all, we're going to start with this one. So we take our number here, and then we're going to see how many times it fits into 8. So, because we know our 3 times table, and it goes 3, 6, 9, you'll notice that 8 is more than 6, but does not reach 9. So, therefore, 3 is going to fit 2 times, but with a remainder. What I'm going to do is 3 into 8, I'm going to put how many times it fits on top of my bus stop. I'm going to put 2 on top like that. But because I've got a remainder, I need to make sure that I carry the remaining 2 onto my next number. That's going to be our 4 here. So I'm just going to put 2 next to it like that. Now this reads 24. So how many times does 3 fit into 24? Well, if we look here at our multiples of 3, we can see that it fits 8 times exactly. So with no remainders or anything like that, which is nice. So what we're going to do is 3 into 24, and it goes 8 times, and I'm going to write it in like that. And what that means is that if I were to divide 84 by 3 equals 28. Okay, let's do another one, but this time with remainders. Suppose we've got this sum here, so 88 divided by 3. 88 divided by 3 will leave us a remainder. So again, I'm going to start exactly the same way. I'm going to draw my bus stop. What I'm going to do, first of all, is again start by writing the number to the left of the obelisk under my bus stop. I am going to take this 3 and place it to the left of the bus stop like I did last time. This time I'm not going to write out my multiples of 3, but remember them. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. I've got to work out how many 3s are in 8. There are 2 3s in 8, so I'm going to put 2 on top of my bus stop like that. But there's 2 left over because I haven't reached 8 yet. So I'm going to put 2 next to it like that. And you can see I've got 3 into 28. How many times does 3 fit into 28? Well, 3 goes into 27 9 times. 3 goes into 30 10 times. So 28 is more than 27, but less than 30. So I'm going to put a 9 on top. But then I'm going to have something left over. Obviously, 3 times 9 is 27, and therefore I'm going to have 1 left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a little r like that, and then I'm going to have a 1 like this. Now if you wanted to make that into a fraction, so you can either take the answer to be 29 remainder 1. I can share 3 29 times into 88, but with a remainder of 1. Or if you're a little bit more advanced and you want to express it as a mixed number, you can express it as 29, take the remainder, which is 1, and then put it over 3, like that. So I'll just put it over the divisor. So 29 and 1/3. That was some short division. Now let's put this into action with some worded problems. So this is taken from the blog on division, which we'll link below. Division problems can be divided into different categories or subcategories of problems. You've got ones where you've got to work out a remainder. So let's do some of these. With these two problems, we're going to find out the remainder or fractional part. If you divide 17 by 5, what is the remainder? Well, what we can do is we're going to create a little bus stop here. So I'm just going to do a little bus stop. So 17 under the bus stop, 5 next to it. 5 fits 3 times, 0 times into 1. So I'm going to put 0 there. And then we've got to carry the 1 onto the next number. So 5 into 17 will go 3 times, but then there'll be a remainder of 2. So our answer to the problem is not 3 remainder 2 or 3. Because it's asking for the remainder, we're just going to put a 2 like that. So let's read the second one. What is the result when you divide 10 by 3 expressed as a mixed number? The previous question involved a remainder. This one is about having a fractional part. We're first going to start in exactly the same way. We're going to do 10 under the bus stop, 3 next to it, and then it says expressed as a mixed number. So we're going to do 3 into 1, doesn't go. We're going to put 1 on the 0, so we're going to have 3 into 10 again. For some of these smaller problems, it's quite straightforward. So 3 into 10 will go 3 times, and there'll be a remainder of 1. There'll be 1 left over because 3 times 3 is 9. Because I want to express it as a mixed number, my answer will be 3 and 1/3. Let's look at the next one here. So this one's got a bit more problem solving, so it's got a context. John has $45. He wants to buy books that cost $9 each. How many books can he buy? So if we know that, again, if we know our multiplications well enough, 9 into 45 goes 5 times. So we'll instantly know that he can buy 5 books. But let's do it as a division problem. We're going to put 45 under the bus stop, like that, because that's the total being divided. We're going to have 9 next to it, because it's the cost of the books. 9 into 4, that doesn't go. So we're going to have to put 4 on the 5. 9 into 45 goes 5 times, and therefore our answer is 5. Again, if you know your multiplications well enough, you don't really need to divide it. So a farmer has 36 eggs and wants to pack them into cartons. If each carton holds 6 eggs, how many cartons will we need? Again, if we know our multiplications well enough, because we know 6 times 6 equals 36, we know that if we were to take 36 eggs and each carton holds 6 eggs, then 36 divided by 6 would equal 6. But let's do it as a division sum. Again, I put 36 under the bus stop. I'm going to put 6, the number next to it, because each carton holds 6 eggs. So 6 into 3 doesn't go. I'm going to put 3 on my next number. So 6 into 36 goes 6 times with no remainder. I'll do one with the remainder as well, just because it's worth seeing something where you've got to work out a remainder. So a baker made 60 cupcakes and wants to distribute them equally among 12 children. How many cupcakes will each child get? So what we're going to do is we've got 60 cupcakes and we've got to share amongst 12 children. So we're going to put 60 under the bus stop, like that, and then 12 next to it. 12 doesn't go into 6, so we're going to put a 0 like that. We're going to carry the 6 onto the 0. 12 into 60 goes 5 times. Thus our answer is 5 cupcakes. This one's a speed, distance, time question. So if a car travels 240 miles and takes 4 hours to do so, then what's its average speed? So if you take a distance and you divide it by the amount of time, you can find the speed. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to place 240 under the bus stop. This one's a bit nicer, or a bit more difficult. We're going to place 4 next to it, because that's what we're dividing by. 4 into 2 goes 0 times. So maybe this one will color code. So I'm going to put 0 there, and we've got to place the 2 onto the next number. So 4 into 24 goes how many times? 6 times. So we're going to put 6 on top, and then 4 does not go into 0. So we're just going to put a 0 there. So our answer will be 60, and the unit would be miles per hour because it's a speed unit. We'll do a real life problem with a remainder because it's always worth doing one with a remainder. Suppose we've got this question. Alice has 825 cupcakes and wants to work out how many she'll have left if she shared them equally between 4 friends. How many would she have left over? So if you see that word leftover, that's an indication that it probably is either a subtraction or division. We've got 825 here under the bus stop, and we're going to have 4 friends. So we're going to divide 825 by 4. So 4 goes into 8 2 times exactly. 4 does not go into 2, so I'm going to put a 0 there. And then I'm going to put a 2 on the 5. So 4 goes into 25 6 times. And then there's going to be a remainder of 1. So the answer is going to be 1. There's going to be 1 cupcake left over. Okay, so here we've got a bit of a stranger problem. Marcel has 455 books. If each of his bookshelves can hold 30 books, how many bookshelves will he need to hold all his books? Again, it's a division problem, but with a slight twist. And we're going to put 455 because that's what we're dividing. And we know how many books each bookshelf can hold. So we're going to do 30. So 30 doesn't go into 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 0 on top like that. And we're going to put a 4 on the 5. 30 into 45 goes 1 time. The remainder will be 15. So it'll be 155. So 30 into 155. Now, if you were to go up in 30s, you could do 30 times 5, which equals 150. So that's going to be 5 there, but then you're going to have a remainder of 5 because it hasn't quite reached 155. In this special type of problem, our answer isn't actually 15 or 15 remainder 5, it's 16. Because we need the full bookshelf. We need to account for all his books. So including the remainders. So in this case, he'll actually need 16 bookshelves. A lot of people get thrown by this type of problem. Hope you found that useful. If you want to check out more educational content, click here. Obviously, if you want to check out more mathematical videos, you can check the playlist in the channel. And see you next time.